Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It is October 29th, and I know all of you were like, we're going to talk about ghosts, and we're going to talk about paranormal investigations, and that's not what we're going to do. So I brought a ghost from the past of our shows to stay with ghosts in the past. See that? See how I tied all that together, folks? We made it all work. So we're going to listen to somebody correct my English the entire night for an hour and tell me that I pronounced stuff wrong and that I said it wrong in one way or another. But we're also going to celebrate that this person likes to hang out with elephants and is going to go get married near elephants and hang out with them or whatever it is that her plan is. At last I heard she was going to get married near elephants or something. I don't know.
My gosh.
So joining us on such a stupendous October evening, and maybe she has a ghost story. I don't know. She's been out. Maybe she's got a ghost story from Africa. I have no idea. But joining us all the way from wherever she's hanging out with her amazing friend that said, well, you just have to go do this because he called you. Joining us, and it's been a while since she's been on here, and I'm changing my media assets again. I'm so cattywampus right now, folks. You have no idea. But this, if you ever wonder, like, hey, wonder what it's like to do live podcasting. Well, this is how it is to do live podcasting. So joining us from wherever she's hanging out with, it's Miss Cody Wasial.
Dun, 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 and the crowd goes wild.
And hi, Cody. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
That's the way we do things. Cody had 0.0 intentions, folks. And I hope everything's going well for the folks at Unique Paranormal 1.5. But yeah, so Cody had zero intention, and about literally 5 minutes and 24 seconds ago, I sent her called her and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" She said, "Nothing." I'm like, "You want to go talk about elephants?" And now we're going to talk about elephants and her weplantjoy.com and what that's all about. So as always, folks, before we get into all those things, let's go ahead and do some house cleaning here. As always, I got the big board over my right shoulder for sticker and a cause. You have something you're supporting, something you believe in, something you think other people should know all about. Make sure you're reaching out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all those different locations. Tell me what it's all about. I'll tell you where to send your sticker. We put it up on the big board so everybody knows about it. Look at it. Our friend Scott Sikora is already hanging out with us. So we'll tell you where to send it. And we got to talk about our sponsors. That's Budget Blinds. And around the capital region, it's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, and the two newest ones, Budget Blinds of Clifton Park and Del Mar. North America's largest custom window treatment company. They're handling everything from blinds, shades, shutters, drapery, tint, you name it, they do it. So if you reach out to them, especially here in the capital region, you tell them you're there to belly up to the bar, they're going to give you an additional 5% off of whatever your order is. And in this month, we only got a couple days left here in October. They've got their 25% off of all drapery. So make sure you're reaching out to your local Budget Blinds, and they'd be more than happy to come out, free consultation, show you what they got going on there. All right, Miss Cody, why don't you find a seat, Miss Cody, and then you got to walk around.
You know, it's funny because
why don't you sit next to your friend?
Well, I am sitting. My friend. So we were planting.
What are we
Speaking
planting?
We plant joy. We were planting spider plants, and we were finding isopods and little millipede bugs, and so we're planting more than joy over here tonight.
Well, we did this past Saturday. Talk about planting was garlic Saturday or Sunday, excuse me. So we put me and the grandkids and everybody sat down, and they all helped me out, and we planted. I want to say we planted somewhere around this time about 160 bulbs of garlic in the ground.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. We're kind of into garlic, but I will tell you.
So you're like, is that because of all the vampires and
it's fitting for right now. It's the vampires and all those things. And the other side to it is I would tell anyone who's looking to get into gardening, if you want something that's like completely silly, easiest thing you will ever plant, it's garlic. There is nothing on the planet easier to grow than garlic. In by Halloween, out by 4th of July. Make sure you cut the scapes off. That's it.
That's pretty cool. You know what else is really interesting that plants really easy?
What's that?
When elephants eat butternut squash, they can't process the seeds, so they poop them out and then they grow their own vegetables.
That's hilarious. So is that like do you know about the coffee bean like that? Have you ever heard of this?
Oh yeah, the like, was it not a cat, but it's some kind of like
Some kind of cat.
like marsupial-ish
Mm-hmm.
cat-ish thing that poops out beans, and it's like a delicacy.
Yeah, like people are like, "Oh, this coffee is amazing. A cat shit it out for me." It's absolutely glorious. I'm like, "You need help."
Well,
So
the things that we think are like special and amazing actually like surprise me a lot, like caviar, and like I'm gonna eat these eggs out of this thing, and I'm gonna like, whoever thought to do these things and just then call it something special?
that's an easy answer. Would you like me to tell you who thought of all these things to eat?
Yeah, yeah.
Hungry people.
Hungry people. There
Like
was a game when we were a kid called Hungry Hippos.
there was. I mean, if you really consider the fact that I just was listening to a podcast called Embrace Discomfort. And the guy was actually talking like up until about the 1950s, we didn't have an abundance. And then all of a sudden processed foods became a thing, and then we had an abundance, and now this is the first time in human history that hunger is an annoyance and not a struggle. It's wild.
Interesting.
So let's
Not
talk
if we keep
about,
killing the bees and doing bad shit to the environment, which is why I created We Plant Joy.
let's talk about it. So what is, we were advertising it here. And I just always consider it as this is the way Cody gets to do trains and dance with elephants and go hang out. That's what I considered it as. But I'm wrong, and she tells me I'm wrong about these anytime she pops on the show and she tells me I pronounced something wrong. But
Well,
so
you just tangle up the details. That's all. We're gonna clean it up. We're gonna clean it
that's what
up.
we're gonna do right now. So tell everybody, what is We Plant Joy?
Mm-hmm. So We Plant Joy is a nonprofit that aims to conserve, preserve, and protect our lands, animals, and oceans and their surrounding communities, one purposeful project at a time.
So now, when you say purposeful project, what are we talking about here?
Talking about like we feel passionate about it. It's not, I mean, like, of course, all projects can be purposeful, but doing one at a time just means that, for instance, World Wildlife Foundation, they're great. There's no hard feelings about them. But at the end of the year, you get a pie chart and it tells you what your donation went to. And you have no personal connection to the feeling of what it is that you've been supporting.
Agreed.
When We Plant Joy does a project, for instance, the elephants that you keep speaking of, Harry and Sally, right? So that was our first project, reuniting them after they'd been separated, because people get to hear this story. We're doing one thing at a time. You know that when you donate, you know exactly what your money is going to. And then when they finally get reunited and you look at it, you can say, I helped with that. I did that. And you get to feel more excited about doing more because you feel connected to it. So that's the purposeful project, once at a time.
Now that's the one that you were picking on me because I referred to it as elephant Tinder.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I was like, no, like they're not, they're not dating.
I mean,
and nobody swipes left, like.
It's elephant Tinder. They're not dating. They're just hooking up. I mean, that's what it is.
They're trunking up.
Trunking up. Oh God. Oh God. Is that the symbol? Like when you're trunking up, you just throw out
I don't know.
upside down middle finger. You get trunking it up.
I have no idea what signs I'm throwing out right now.
But I mean, and we joke around about this, but you've been involved in a lot of different things. You're very, I mean, animals. Let's call this what it is. If you don't know anything about Cody's background, what 15 years you ran the kennel,
Cody's Cozy Pal, doggy daycare and boarding. Yep.
That was what 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she ran that for 15 years. She also was a trendsetter in that with where she made news all over the capital region, where she was the first boarding place to be like, don't bring your dog here if they've just had the kennel cough shot. I'm not letting them in because the rest of my dog's sick. So you've always kind of been on this forefront with animals and with this push. I mean, the elephant thing, we joke about it, but where did that even come from where you were like, oh, this is where we're going to start this project at?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I was asked if I wanted to go to South Africa for just like a trip. And I said, yeah, but I'm not going unless I can touch an elephant or it can touch me. And I don't believe in riding them. They do really bad things to like let you ride them and stuff like that. But I really just wanted to connect with one. And I had meditated about it. I had felt it, seen it. And I was like, I want to do like, I want to have this in real life. And so they're like, well, I don't think you're going to touch one on it, but you'll see one on a safari. I'm like, I'm not leaving and going flying 14 hours unless I can touch one. That's absurd. And so they found me this place called Nyasna Elephant Park. And shortly thereafter, I had another meditation where it said, ask them if they need help. And I was like, what is a small girl from upstate New York going to give elephants? Like, what can I do? Get them a water trough, like a big ball, like what? And I had previously thought about We Plant Joy as being a plant store that was going to have 10% of its proceeds go to something philanthropic, because I knew that that part was really missing in my life and I wanted to get back to nature and giving back and the environment and things. So they got back to me and they were like, actually, you'll never believe this. And I'm like, nah, I might. And they were like, they have these two elephants and they've been separated because of drought and they need help getting Harry and the others home. And I immediately was like, okay, let's do it. Within 24 hours, I had a website up. I knew what We Plant Joy was, and I started raising funds. And that's where it started in November of 2023.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, and it wasn't official until December of 2024 as a nonprofit. So we're excited to be celebrating our 1 year of officially being a nonprofit. But in the beginning, I raised all that money. I raised about $3,000 in 6 months by myself. I thought I was going to raise 47,000. Turns out when you turn in about $3,000 through the bank, it's 43,000 rand. So like I nailed it. I just didn't specify for my manifesting that I meant US dollars.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, and that kind of brings up something right there, because you've said this twice now, where you're like, "Hey, I meditated on it, and this what came to me." I don't think a lot of people understand what that is. Like, I would say I prayed on it. You say you meditated on it. What
Yeah.
does that mean for you in that piece?
Yeah, I pray too. We have that. But really the meditation is more like visioning. It's a visioning process. It's a process of connecting with my ideas and my thoughts and, whatever method that God, universe, creator wants to communicate with me to kind of show me where my next step is with my path. So I kind of just that's how the elephants happened. I just trusted that I was going to start with elephants. We Plant Joy
Nice.
doesn't only help elephants. That just happened to be the catalyst that launched it all.
Gotcha. They were the cool kids. Were the elephants. That was your big
Well,
project.
interesting.
Elephant big.
Yeah. Oh gosh, so big. I got to stand underneath Harry and like I looked up under his chin, like, and I went, hello, and it echoed.
Like that. I mean, I don't think people understand, like, and those are African elephants, so those are the larger elephants compared to Asian
Yeah.
elephants. Um, like that's an animal that, when upset, can just end things. And people
Yeah. Oh,
don't, I
yeah.
don't think, realize, we think like, oh, it's an elephant. I've watched Dumbo. It's great. I mean, that this can end things.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like, just standing that close and being like, and understanding the power of something that close to you?
There was not a second that I had any fear. It
Really?
was really interesting, actually. Like I just walked up and it was like coming home. It was just this most magnificent, awe-inspiring moment where you look into their eyes and you see the entire universe just rolling around, and then they have these big beautiful bodies and these feet that like just ground all this crazy cool energy, and it was just honestly I cried. I started bawling when I met Harry. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry it took me so long to get here." Like as if I was, coming back to like one of my long lost relatives or something. So it really was quite magical.
Have you, completely sidebar, I saw this maybe about 6, 8 months ago. Have you seen this thing about where they want to gosh, what was it? It was get the elephant or with the cloning of the mammoths, but the whole thing about
Yeah, the wool mammoth.
but the reasoning isn't just to say, hey, besides saying, hey, we did it, but it actually has more to do with the tundra lands and the fact that because they roam these lands, their weight compressed everything and everything was pushed down because they were constantly moving on this land. And because of all these thousands upon thousands of years of them not existing, the land has shifted. And they're like, unless you're going to bring big, heavy equipment in here to push this stuff back down, you really need the animals. Have you seen that?
I saw something about it. I didn't really get into it because I'm, a little weird on the
I'm with you.
how much I'm going to mess with things, but you know.
Listen, I'm with you. It's a very like, really? This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're doing this one, huh? It's definitely a very, very weird one in that way. So
Yeah.
I was curious, if
I
you
mean, I
had
feel
any.
like if the environment, yeah, well, I feel like if the environment is falling apart, then there's other things we can do than bring back an elephant that sizably doesn't fit in this ecosystem anymore and just repair the one that we have by stopping your use of microplastics and stop dumping shit in our oceans and quit, I don't know, using cleaning products that are toxic and dumping them down your drain and having industries use, even AI. Honestly, guys, like if you don't know this, know it now. Every time you use AI, you are heating up the ocean. The way that they cool the AI is through using ocean water. The amount, like, it is not environmentally friendly. AI is not environmentally friendly.
Well, aren't you just gonna be the big old party pooper here? I mean, I like
Listen,
my
use
AI.
it, use it sparingly.
I
Use
mean,
it sparingly and be more mindful of when you use it.
all right. Hey, Cody, you gotta, I like AI. Now you're gonna poop on it. But
Well, you got to know the truth.
so you got another trip though coming up with We Plant Joy. And look, folks, if you want to know what Cody's got going on, obviously you can find her on LinkedIn. You can find her on TikTok. I think just about everything. It right now is weplantjoy.com. You can check her out there. All of her links are going to be there. As I said, I have to give her all the kudos in the world because she was not supposed to be here. She was planning some joy with her friend, and then all of a sudden, the universe said, "Call Cody," because she needs some support.
Call
So,
Birdie.
so you can go support her and the elephants. But so you got another trip coming up here, though, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
What's the
So
next one?
at the end, yeah, so at the end of each project, the other idea that I really wanted to bring people with me so that they can see their impact with their own eyes, that they can experience the community, experience, the land that we were serving, and just feel more connected to it and have a good time and learn more about conservation while also having luxury experiences and eco experiences and all of that. And so we finished. Harry and Sally have now been reunited, and now it means that next year is the time for us to go back and celebrate by bringing a tour of people back. So there's 10 spots to go on We Plant Joy's first inaugural tour. Cape Town to Nice, kayaking in the ocean. You get to experience the penguins, a 14-course meal, multiple safaris. You get to have a whole elephant experience with Harry and Sally. We're doing a natural building workshop on the top of a mountain. And that's just to name a few things. And it's really going to be quite special. I've taken all of my favorite things that I experienced both times that I was there, and I've turned it into this beautiful eco tour. And one step further than that, We Plant Joy doesn't just go and do a project and then leave, because that's
Okay.
just putting a band-aid on something. So what was it that We Plant Joy could do to create some sustainability after we leave? And so a part of the proceeds of each of the eco tours goes to a young adult in that area to further their education and conservation, or to purchase, like pay for one of their apprenticeships for them to learn a skill set to
Oh, that's cool.
continue forth conservation efforts.
Well, that's cool. Now, where did that idea come from?
Well, when I went back to South Africa to see Harry and Sally get reunited, and there was a lot of rain, it made it so that the trucks that were meant to bring them back got stuck. So I ended up missing their reuniting in person because
Oh,
it ended up being,
really?
yeah. And I had this question. I said, okay, God, if I wasn't meant to be here for this reunion, why did you have me travel all this way? Like, this is crazy. I don't just travel frivolously, like it's for a project. And I just couldn't imagine that I was not there for that. And so I was sitting on, there's like this viewing deck, and it had these three tiers. And Sally and the ladies had come into what they call a boma. And a boma is this big indoor building where they have the choice to go in and out. But if it gets a little chilly, it warms them up. And if you're staying at Nice the Elephant Park, and if you come with us, you'll see that the elephants come in at night, and all the rooms that you can stay in are around the boma. So you can watch the elephants sleep. And if you open your window, you can hear them snore and smell their farts. It's amazing.
I don't listen. Listen, I'm not like the snore sounds very interesting. Like I would be curious what an elephant snore sounds like, but I don't want to smell elephant farts.
Well,
Right?
what's
Like
really interesting? It's actually not that bad, and it dissipates very fast. I was fascinated by the whole thing.
fart. I don't care. Like that sounds absolutely horrible. Oh.
No, it's great.
Oh. So Karen says she's going to check you out. Karen, you can go on her tour. So like real quick. So tell it like while I'm thinking about it because it's in my head right now as you were mentioning elephant farts. That sounds so odd to me. Um, so
Sometimes, Sean, they sound like blah, 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 blah. It's really
I can't even
interesting.
imagine.
Like it's so
I can't
amazing what
even
comes out of their
imagine.
butt.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So I'm with Patrick here. We both grew up in Baltimore, and I've smelled the elephant house at the zoo. No, thank you.
Okay, hold
The
on.
hippo was even
That's
worse.
no. Well, the zoo, they're captive.
Okay.
So, okay, and they're eating a different diet than they would potentially normally eat. So the elephants at Naisna are eating more of their regular diet, and the poop is not concentrated in an area, so it definitely does not smell the same as the ones in the zoo. That is for sure. There's a difference there. But yeah, I know. Details, my friends.
Karen, you just have to find somebody to sponsor you to go over. Call Shantae and tell him he should sponsor you to go to Africa to go see the elephants, and
There
you
you
could take
go.
Rebecca with you. The two of you could go together. But tell me, like, if somebody really because this is an available tour, people can still go and sign up for this, and they can go. Um, what is the price? Well, I don't even worry about price tag, but what is the process if somebody wanted to go and do that?
Yeah, so there's a link, and I can obviously give it to you. So if you want to put it in the show notes later, there's an
Yeah.
actual link that goes to the site that goes through all of the accommodations. It goes through all of the, places that we're going to go, things we're going to do, and then you get to, decide if it's for you or not. And then you just have a conversation with me. You put your deposit down, and then once you have your deposit is 35%, and then the rest isn't due until 60 days, I think, before we head out. And everything is included except for your flight.
Gotcha. This is an interesting question from Pat. He says, do they still dye their tusks over there pink to make sure the poachers don't want them? I read a while back and thought that was cool. Like so like a process to be like, hey,
Yep.
you've stained this, it's no good.
Yeah, they used to do it more so, I believe, with the rhinos, and they did do it with the elephants too, but it's not as popular anymore. They've had a at least with the elephants, it seems number one, the big tuskers, there's not as many.
Oh,
And
really?
they're being wildly more, well, it's a genetic thing, and so when you're killing off that particular like genetic line, the tusks aren't as big. But they do have a lot more people protecting them out there than they used to, which is really beautiful. The rhinos still kind of run into some problems, but they had taken up more of the filing of the horn. So a vet will, find them, knock them out, cut the horn off to a certain point so that it doesn't, um, before the point where it would harm them, and then they take the horn away, and so then it's less desirable to want to hunt them. So
Right.
that seems to be more of the practice these days than the pink dye.
Gotcha. Look, folks, everybody out there that's joining us, I know you were planning on us talking about paranormal, so I just brought a ghost from the past of the show, Cody, on, and we're actually talking about her program. She's the founder of We Plant Joy. It's a non-for-profit. They pick basically an animal that's in need in some way. They build a program around it and do everything they can to help that one at a time. Instead of that kind of a blanket approach that a lot of others use. They're focused on, hey, we can help this one. We can make this difference with this one and go about that. You can check it all out on weplantjoy.com. Cody, also, if you want to find her, and she's on Instagram and she's on Facebook and she's got all the pages for these things. And she also does her trans and dance thing. And I get it wrong every time.
That's okay.
I like my name better than the original. I think mine's catchier.
Well, people then just think I'm doing weird like stuff.
Well, what is it? I mean, come on. Have you done?
Well, listen, we're not talking about that right now, so it doesn't matter.
Great question. Have you transcendental danced with the elephants?
I have not yet.
Why not? That's bullshit.
Well, because yeah. Well, this last time I was going to when they actually got reunited, but like I said, I wasn't there because, well, I was physically there. It got canceled and it went the next week. But to bring it back to that moment, actually, because you were like, well, how did the part come around to the eco tour serving the youth? And it was when I was sitting with the girls, and by the girls, I mean these 5 elephant ladies who were coming into the boma. And Sally's munching on these big sticks and they're crunching away on their nighttime snacks. And I'm over there eating some chicken nuggets because I couldn't find anything else. And it's just me and the elephants, and the whole place was closed down and it was off season. And I'm just sitting out there and I'm crying a little bit because here I came all this way to watch Harry and Sally get reunited and share that with my followers so that they could see what you did. And here we are. And I keep my promise that I made it back to South Africa to show you this. And then the trucks got stuck in mud and they couldn't get there when I was there. So I was like, God, what am I here for then? And interestingly enough, I started to understand. I started to review everything that had happened. And from the moment that I had stepped on South Africa's land, people had been telling me, like, sharing what their dreams are, what they'd love to do without me even asking. And I was like, oh, this is really fascinating. And many people that I stayed with were in these like transitional phases. And I was like, okay. And so it seemed that the focus was actually on the people, not on the animals. And that's what I took away from it was, okay, Cody, if We Plant Joy is to conserve, preserve, and protect our lands, animals, oceans, and their surrounding communities, what is the part that is the community? And that is when the Eco Tour was born, to come back and serve the community, learn about the community, and serve and create that future steward of the environment. And that's the part that's sustainable, that serves the community. So I was like, oh, okay. So, and then that's when the whole idea came to have these eco tours and have it help a young adult. And then everybody gets to come to South Africa and play with me and play with the elephants and just see all the cool things. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's go.
See, I love the idea of that, you know, you're not only are you making, because I think that's something that a lot of people miss in these things is that we have a tendency, and I think this is a very American attitude, nothing that we've done wrong, but we have this very American attitude like, hey, I'm going to show up, throw a little bit of money at it. We got the problem solved and I'm leaving. We're not coming back. I already gave you money. Why do I need to come back and do something? You're actually leaving somebody in place that can carry on whatever this process is and whatever these things are, so that it's not a one-stop shop and move on.
No, we really want people to feel that they are making a difference. Each and every one of you out there that is stopping in to listen to this podcast is making a difference when you make those choices to either, you know, go on a trip. And I think a lot of times people feel like, well, there's nothing that I can do. The world is a hot mess. There's nothing that I can do. The environment's going to go to hell. There's nothing I can do. But that's exactly the problem, is that you think that there's nothing that you can do, but there's everything that you can do. one of the biggest things that I've found super helpful for me is I purchased this water machine about 5 years ago. It's called Kangen water, right? And I first only got it because I was drinking water. What?
That's not a thing you told me about this. No, go ahead.
What did you
No,
say?
I just sound familiar as you were saying it.
Yeah, so I purchased it mainly because I just wanted really good water and I wanted better water for my dogs and health and hydration. And but it has like 100 other uses. You can change the pH levels. And so you can use it for cleaning. I don't use cleaning products anymore. I use 2.5. I slap some peppermint oil in that and it smells great and it disinfects things. And this machine alone, getting this machine into people's houses is reducing microplastics, single-use plastics. It's reducing chemicals going down the drain. It's helping people's health and hydration. And it's doing all of these things just with this one machine. And I had only bought it for myself. And then again, in a meditation recently, I was told to start talking about the water more because it was going to help We Plant Joy. And so what I decided to do was to start selling the machines on a more active scale. And then for each one that I make a commission from, part of the commission goes to We Plant Joy. So not only is it helping people in their health, and just by them owning one, it's serving the mission of We Plant Joy, but then threefold, the commission also goes to the project for We Plant Joy. And so it's kind of this like very organically, everything is serving everything loop that we can continue to do good and make a difference. And that's one thing, right? You can also, not rake your lawn this year. You could switch from plastic wrap to, why are you making faces?
Why would I not rake my lawn?
Because the bugs and the things that need it for the soil and the birds and all of that, every time you rake all your stuff up because you want your lawn to look good, you are screwing with the natural process of all the things that are good and that help. Like, it's just, you got to leave them until the spring at least. It's where the bees, like, and there's different little bugs that, like, butterflies and their pupas and their all their things, like all of that affects our environment. And I think people just don't realize that these things that we just so mindlessly do because we have to have the best looking yard are actually affecting things. Using plastic wraps.
Pat said the HOA may have an issue with that.
Yeah, well, HOAs well, maybe the next project will be taking out the HOA.
Oh, look, I hate HOAs personally.
They're not helping.
They don't. And I mean, that's interesting that, you found a way to kind of bring all your different elements, all the factors in your life, working towards these different pieces here. We'll just talk about the water for a second, because I know you've talked to me about that before. Is that something, like, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and talk about the water, where could we find that at?
Yeah, I mean, they can just, honestly, you could literally just email me, Cody@weplantjoy.com. And I can easily, send you demos. If you're local, you can come over, you can try the water, you can see the machine, you can check it out. It's really been a game changer. And if anybody wants to buy one in the next 48 hours, if I sell 3, it'll bump me up to the next, they're running a promotion where if you sell 3 before October 31st and you're still at like the first level of commission, it'll bump you up to $1,000 per machine, which means $500 every time I sell a machine would go to We Plant Joy. So that would be amazing.
All right. What's the name of this machine, Cody? What's the name of this machine again?
It's called Kangen. It's made by Enagic.
Spell it.
Kangen. And
Kangen water.
Yeah, and it's from Enagic. That's the company that makes it. They're amazing.
Do you have your own affiliate link? So
I do. I have, yes. Yeah. So, if you're watching this and you're interested, don't go off on your own. Please just message me and I will send you the link for the videos and get you all squared up. Otherwise.
Can you put it in the chat real quick what the affiliate link is?
Let's see. I don't know. If I close the screen, do you disappear?
I hope not, but I'll keep the show going if it does. You can drop it in the private chat, and then I can drop it into the link.
All right, I gotta go to the other screen, so hold on a second.
All right, we're gonna see what happens here. Right now is Cody's phone.
Are you still there? Oh
I'm
my
still
God.
here,
Okay.
but your face is frozen with your tongue sticking out.
Oh, that's cool. That's
And
awesome.
now it sounds like you're talking. Now it sounds like you're talking through a paper bag inside of a tin can.
That's really bad.
Wow.
I'm gonna need a charger in a second. Hold on,
Is your
friend.
friend not letting you use her Wi-Fi?
No, hold on. All right.
Tell
Trying to
your
find
friend, tell your friend to let you use her Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Do we have Wi-Fi here? Yeah, we have Wi-Fi. We're gonna need it. The shit's
Yeah,
going
because you're
down.
like you're like the ship is going down right now. I'm muting you for a second.
I know. Hold on.
I can't even mute
Hold on.
Cody's mute so bad. All right. So while Cody's figuring this all out, Pat says, I'm in real estate and it sounds like something a lot of eco-conscious buyers would be interested in when they buy a new house. I think so also, Pat. Like it's interesting. Cody's talked about it before. It sounds like something like I'd be curious how it gets connected into your water system and all that. Now you got to unmute yourself, Cody. You got to hit unmute.
I don't know. All right.
Like, it still sounds like you're in a tin can, but it's fine. It's one of those ones.
Oh, let me see. What's our Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi
I'm also going to need a charger.
Your Wi-Fi should be We Plant Joy. Okay, try. But the worst is it. There we go. Muted her again. All right. So when Cody is back and we can unmute this, but while she's doing that, why don't we just go ahead and get to one of the sponsors here and let's get ourselves situated. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see if I can. So we're going to find out about the power of AI while Cody's getting herself situated. I'm going to go ahead and tell Chat GPT, because they normally do our New Scotland Spirits commercial, add this commercial with We Plant Joy. Let's see what it comes up with and what kind of commercial Chat GPT comes up with for New Scotland Spirits this week, as we've added We Plant Joy to the whole thing, and see what it comes up with. All right, here we go. This week's episode is brought to you by two amazing brands doing things with purpose: New Scotland Spirits and We Plant Joy. First, New Scotland Spirits. If you're still drinking boring whiskey, it's time to upgrade. Crafted right here in upstate New York, their small batch whiskey is bold, smooth, and made with local grains and grit. Whether you're winding down or raising a glass, make it count with New Scotland Spirits. Visit newscotlandspirits.com and pour with pride. New Scotland Spirits, grain to glass, grit to glory. And speaking of doing things with heart, check out We Plant Joy. Their mission: uplifting communities, inspiring connections, and planting seeds of hope, literally and figuratively. From local workshops to their life-changing eco tours in South Africa, We Plant Joy is on a mission to help you grow joy in your heart and in the world around you. Learn more at weplantjoy.com and be part of something beautiful. We Plant Joy. Grow joy, spread hope, live with purpose. Now let's show. What do you think of that commercial there, Cody? Like she's all frozen, face all twisted up. I love technology. Doesn't look like it's on my end. I think it's on Cody's end this time.
Is it me?
I think like your picture is all gritty and grindy. I'm just wondering here. Your friend won't let you on the Wi-Fi. Your friend won't let you on the Wi-Fi, huh? What's funny about that is I have a friend like that. He's an IT guy. And when I go to his house and I'm like, hey man, can I get your Wi-Fi password? He doesn't let me on his Wi-Fi. He gives me the guest Wi-Fi. That is the question for today, is Cody's going through and trying to get her all situated, is if you go to your friend's house and they don't give you the real Wi-Fi and they only put you on the guest Wi-Fi and you think you're super close, how does that make you feel? I'm curious from anybody who's listening. Hopefully I'm not the one moving here. Oh, Cody had to jump off. She'll be back. So if you're still listening to us, Cody will be back here in a minute. But it's been happening yeah, I kind of thought so, Karen. I was noticing it there that her stuff was kind of bouncing back and forth, but I wasn't sure if it was just on my end, I had some Wi-Fi issues the other day. I'm not sure. I think mine is just I need to upgrade my Eros. I've had the same one for a lot of years. It might be time for a new one. But that is a curiosity question for everybody who's still watching. We'll see if Cody makes it back to us or not. Is if your friend hands you the Wi-Fi password but says that you have to go on the guest network, you're not allowed on their real network. Do you wonder, are they hiding something from you? Or do you think like maybe I'm just not as close as I thought I was? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Karen. It sucks. Absolutely sucks, but I'm curious. Rather than asking to hotspot, this is even, listen, I got to agree with Pat. I guess it is better that if you ask for your friend's Wi-Fi hotspot and they go, hey, man, I ain't got one, but can I borrow the hotspot off your phone and you're in their house? I don't know. At least that way, Pat, like, hey, look, they just, the struggle is real for them. They ain't got it like that. I can still remember, you're hearing stories of people plugging into other people's houses so that they could get a little bit of juice, not even realizing that they were tapping off of somebody else's stuff. So as Cody's trying to get all of her stuff going here, make sure you're staying in tune with us. What's the reason? So, I'll tell you, Karen. So the reason that people do this sometimes with the Wi-Fi is they'll be like, "Oh God, Cody, what is?"
Is it better?
I don't know if it's better or not.
What's
So
happening?
I'm feeding back.
I'm on Wi-Fi now.
Now I'm getting back feed.
Oh.
What happened?
I don't know.
Do you want to use your friend's phone?
This should be okay now. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. All right, so that's
when you talk.
So when I'm talking, so normally if it's doing it when normally if I just muted you. So normally if it's doing it when I'm talking, that means that either something else is picking up on the sound. You may have your hand under the microphone so that it's catching the sound back up through it. Something along those lines. Something magical. Yeah, Karen says not better.
Poop. But I don't hear it when I talk. Do they? Do you guys hear it when I talk or when he talks? Because I only hear it when you talk. The weird crackling.
Yeah, no, I hear it the entire time you're talking. I had to mute you so I could talk. So it sounds like it sounds like you're talking through cellophane.
Okay, let me try again. I'll come back.
We'll try one more time. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But what I was talking about, Karen, is people will do that because for whatever reason they're somehow concerned that if you're on their personal network, here we just kick Cody real quick. That if you're on their personal network, that somehow you can access something you shouldn't. They have it's a paranoia. I deal with it with clients sometimes when I go out to clients' homes. Let's see. Ooh, talk.
Did it work?
It worked. So you sound amazing now.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Because I don't know why all of a sudden it got wacky. That was weird.
Are you using a jitterbug phone?
No, I have an iPhone. And it was the same phone that I was on this whole time.
You know the old people phone, the jitterbug?
Yeah.
With the real big buttons.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm not going to go try to grab that link right now. I'll give it to you later. If anybody wants to check out the water, I'm happy to share it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I pulled it up because I was like, that's kind of neat. I know we've talked about it before here on the show, and you've been using it for a while. That is pretty interesting.
Yeah, great.
But did you get to hear the commercial at all?
A little bit, yeah. And it was if you
such
want
a great ending.
something.
Listen to this ending again. And speaking of doing things with heart, check out We Plant Joy. Their mission, uplifting communities, inspiring connections, and planting seeds of hope, literally and figuratively. From local workshops to their changing eco tours to South Africa, We Plant Joy is on a mission to help you grow joy in your life and in the world around you. Learn more at weplantjoy.com and be part of something beautiful. We Plant Joy. Grow joy, spread hope, live with purpose.
Oh, there you go.
That was from chat. You know why chat made it sound so good? Because you talk shit on chat and said, Oh, you're just burning up the ocean. But Chad was like, watch what I can do for you.
Yeah, well, and it's
Okay.
still, yeah, doing some shit with the ocean. It's funny.
Look, my poor Rebecca, so confused. You invited me and sent me this preparing for paranormal investigation. So here's what happened. Let's listen,
Sorry,
Rebecca. That was
Rebecca.
that was every bit our intentions, and I didn't see. My guest sent me a message at after I sent them the thing at 5:30. They sent me a message at 6:30, and I didn't see it till 7:50 when I logged back in, and they were like, "Yeah, we've had an emergency on this end," and I thought the one girl was going to be able to make it, but whatever's going down, uh, she wasn't able to make it either. So it kind of just became an entire thing where I was like, "Oh, oh, okay, well, I guess that happened," and she wasn't able to make it. So I reached out to Cody, and but you would like Cody there, Rebecca, because she's all about animals, and you're all. She used to have a tortoise. They had a tortoise forever, like one of
Oh,
those
I
big
love
African
tortoises.
tortoises.
Yeah.
Like had that thing forever. But
Good.
here you go. Pat said, "Isn't this the podcast about paranormal elephants?" That's a good listen, Pat. Legitimate question,
Flatulent elephants.
like that. Gassy, but that's a question. Do you think animals experience paranormal experiences?
I feel like they probably are way more tapped into that stuff because they are more, I mean, like they're so sentient and yet they don't have these thoughts that we have, so they probably get to go in between the veil much more than us humans do.
Do you think it's that, or do you think it's because the fact that they're not conscious of what they are? Does that make sense? Like the big thing they say that make humans different. However, this is interesting. I myself do not trust ChatGPT or AI. I know, Rebecca. We've fallen down that rabbit hole together. We'll talk about it when we go to Shady Maple, hopefully soon. Um,
Don't worry, Rebecca. AI tries to kill the oceans, so we're not cool on
that
it either.
they're not trusting it either. But that's they say that that's what makes humans different from animals is the fact that we're sentient of our existence, where animals are not. They don't understand their own existence and that they're there.
I mean, I would argue, how do they know that? Like, there is so much that we don't understand and we continue to destroy it. So I really question like people's full true ability to understand the things that are beyond what we can comprehend. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know
There,
if I agree with it.
there you go. They still have the Sulcata. How do you pronounce that?
Sulcata.
So you would pronounce it. So Sulcata tortoise, and she loves her gorillas. Well, you listen.
Well,
Don't come all
wait,
storming
I'm
around the
surprised
town.
you don't say like tortoise.
I
That
know
would
how to
be.
say tortoise. I know what a tortoise is.
Look at this tortoise. It's a
Listen, I'm not from Jersey.
the sulciata tortoise.
I could say I would probably say Sulciati. Listen, that's an Italian tortoise. It's the Sulciati. It's an Italian. It walks around going, "Ah, fungula." It's an Italian tortoise. Um, and listen, now everybody's on like, I don't trust AI. Listen, you've been trusting AI longer than you realize it. You remember when you used to type things in wrong and it would change the spelling so it was spelled correct? Guess what, folks? That was AI, whether you like it or not. That was AI. It was an spell check was AI before you realized what AI was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's Karen say? I think some animals understand more than we realize. I agree with you, but keep in mind, like I would tell you, a goose understands connections better than I would say a field mouse. And here's why I say that: geese mate for life. And if you've ever seen a goose, one of the two get hit by a car, it's one
Mm-hmm.
of the saddest things you'll ever see in your life because the other one just doesn't leave its side. It doesn't move from there. And if it does like run away because another car is coming, it continually comes back to that space. Where a field mouse, if you think about it, field mice have tons and tons of babies and they're constantly reproducing and they're the scourge of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they just, you know, they have no concept the same way.
No, I think there's different levels of consciousness, just as there is in humans, one could say.
This is true. But listen, I'm,
You
I'm
know?
on a level of consciousness right now.
um, but interesting that you say that, because it kind of reminded me of this. So just so you guys know, the next project that we
That's
Plant
what I was
Joy
going to
is,
ask.
yeah, is going to be doing is going to be ocean conservancy based, and I'm in the beginning talks with people over in Washington who work with the orcas and the J pod. And I don't know if anybody out there ever remembered, but there was an orca. I'm on the spelling bee. There was an orca that carried her dead orca baby for like months and months.
Oh, but I could see that.
And so she was mourning, and there's stories about chimps and gorillas that when their babies died, they carry them for X amount, through that grieving process. But all to say, this particular J pod feeds on this very specific type of salmon that is kind of very depleted in that area. So we're in the beginning stages of talking to some different marine places in that area to see how we can help and what we can do. And so the next project could potentially be the Orca J pod in Washington. So I knew it was going to be whales because it was like big. First, it was the elephants, and then in meditation, it started telling me about whales. I'm like, largest land animal, largest water. And so then this kind of thing has been happening with the orcas. So I'm pretty excited.
Now, here's a great question, though. In all this, though, a lot of what you're doing, let's just be real honest. These are first world problems where we have time in our societies, in our cultures, to say, "Hey, the elephant needs a partner. This salmon is missing." And in these things, and I respect it completely. Trust me, I enjoy to hunt. I understand the value of protecting land. Most people don't realize that hunters protect more land than anybody else around. But the other side to this is in some of these things that we're talking about, especially in developing countries or in countries that are just useless and worthless and don't care about other things. China, I'm talking to you, and don't care about these kind of things. How do you get that next level? Because a lot of these countries, like if I'm a developing country trying to go from third to second world, or even becoming a first world country, and you're telling me, hey, this salmon that these six orcas like to eat, you need to protect it, which means your factories need to be shut down. I'd hearty high five you and be like, have a nice day.
Well, that's because there's not this think outside the box thing. I think a lot of you may know who Jane Goodall was, right? And she recently passed away. She was huge all over
Absolutely.
the news. I absolutely adore and love her. Something that she did with her work was notice, obviously, with the chimpanzees, that there was this problem, but she started to observe the communities, and what they were doing was destroying the forest because that's how they could help their families and pay for things. And so instead of just saying, this is a problem, you can't do this anymore, she started to look for solutions by speaking with those communities to see how else can they bring money and support and food and resources to those locations so that they weren't giving away their valuable resources like the ecosystem and destroying things around them. So it's really up to us, I think, as places who are not third world and second world to, come in and not think that we have the solution, but to come in and listen to what their needs are and find a new way to provide them with food and water and sustainable income, that they don't have to destroy the very thing that we all need collectively. So it is definitely still a first world problem, because when all of those things continue to fall apart, our coral reefs die. There's so much about the ocean that we don't understand. There's
Oh, wow.
oxygen in the ocean. There's these there's these oxygen furs that they're starting, and all the trawling and all these things. All of this destruction that we're doing doesn't just affect them, it affects every single one of us. It is all of our problems. But we need to go in and we need to start listening and giving them alternatives to a way of life that can sustain them better. And
I'd be very interesting on all the ocean stuff you're doing, because I think that's one that we kind of like there's so much information when you realize like we've barely like we want to go to outer space, but we've barely explored the oceans. We don't know the depths. They're constantly finding new creatures and things like that. Karen says it comes down to knowledge and information. Absolutely, all the way around. The ocean stuff really does fascinate me. They just feel like there's so much that we're missing out on. Pat said, "Man has been able to explore roughly 40% of the ocean. We still discover new species every day." Yeah, it's wild because like we'll discover a species that we're like, we've never seen this, and it has bioluminescence, and it can do this. The other one, have you ever seen the? Oh gosh, what was? I want to call them pucks, where they're mining these pucks out in the Pacific Ocean. That's to me is pretty scary. There are these pucks that all these countries claim mining rights to. We're the only country that didn't claim the mining rights. Did you know that? And everything in those minerals is everything we need for our technology.
Yeah.
But we're the only country that didn't. And that's a whole nother conversation for another
It's a
show.
whole nother conversation.
Oh, because it's one of those rabbit holes that I love to fall down when I'm like, why didn't we? And you're like, like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton drove the only guy who disagreed with the Warren report to the airport before he died.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I know that there's a lot of those things that I'm like, yeah, see, can't trust
Yeah.
them.
Listen, I'm 100% with you. I'm always like, look, ain't that some bull? So, well, listen, Miss Cody.
Yes, dear.
I can only say to you, thank you for the many times in the middle of shows when we were supposed to be doing something and the bottom fell out of whoever my guest was supposed to be at that moment, and you have jumped on from. If you guys go digging back, like remember, we've been doing this 5.5 years. I've been doing this show. You can dig back to a time where Cody sat here with a gentleman from Montana who every time you remember this, every time we said something, there was like this awkward 3 to 5 second pause before he responded. And I remember saying to the guy going, "Are you on a 56K modem?" And he goes, "No." "Is this signal coming through fine?" "Yes." And I'm like, son of a bitch, there's nothing like this. I was like, "Cody, you got to hear this." And she jumped on and she's like sending me messages. She's like, "I'm in my PJs. I'm going to bed." I'm like, "Nah, you got to get on this one. We need you here." Before that show was over with, we were talking about lizard people. Was Jesus a lizard person? And
Well, Elvis definitely was.
oh, there was so much that went on during that episode. So I always have to say thank you to Cody. There's been many shows where she has jumped on and been like, "Sure, I'll rescue your ass today. Just make sure you talk about my, elephant Tinder and whatever else I got going on." And I'm always like, listen, you got free reign. I'll throw it all in there, whatever you need. But speaking of free reign and whatever you need, if you're finding me through Cody or Cody through me, make sure you're following both of us. Make sure you're following her website. You can find We Plant Joy is on it's on Facebook. She has a site on there. You can follow it there, see what's going on. If you're looking to go on the tour, you can find that out. She'll send me a link on the Super Water so we can talk about that. But make sure you're joining us next week. We have Jennifer Elizabeth Valdez. She's an entrepreneur, survivor, and empowered leader. She's the first generation Hispanic American domestic violence survivor and self-made entrepreneur who turned trauma into transition. After escaping abuse and homelessness at age 15, she built her life from the ground up, rising from caregiver to CEO of multiple successful healthcare businesses. She's the founder of Jenn, Jenn, to Generations. Jennifer uses her voice to amplify others. Her platform blends raw honesty and hard-won business acumen, inspiring women to reclaim their power, break generational cycles, and build lives together. This is all you there, Cody. I hope you hear all this. Jennifer is a living example of resilience in action, unapologetically authentic, deeply impactful, and driven to turn pain into legacy.
Whoop.
That's all you. Like
there it is.
That's all you. Karen said, "Thank you for the great podcast. Good luck, Cody. You're doing things some of us wish we could do. We need more like you." Listen, Karen saves cats.
Karen.
Erin has like 35 cats last time I checked. Like maybe 72. I don't remember. She has a lot of cats.
No,
So,
and I'm so
oh,
grateful, Sean, for you having me and to be here, and for all you guys that listened and hung out, really. And just if there's one thing you can swap this month, that is healthier for the planet, you would be helping me plant joy, and I appreciate every single one of you.
all right, Cody. So and that we should have saved that for like three. You could have saved that for 3 seconds. All right. So as we do in every episode, don't log off on me afterwards. The guest always gets the final word. So what's our final word tonight, Cody?
See your impact, be the change, know that everything you do matters.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in. This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.